GosuPizza. ASL presents GosuPizza.
Hand position as the beautiful pink Terran. We have Saranghae.
He's so pretty in pink.
So,
And then down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got Uesuri, or Uesuri, or whatever, in the awesome, fashionable, much superior purple.
yes, purple definitely better colour than pink.
It's totally much
Like
better.
anyone who picks pink, it's not right.
Yeah, exactly. And Uesuri going for a slightly quicker supply depot. So I don't know why, but maybe he wants to just get things out a little quicker and sacrifice a tiny bit of economy for it. But both will finish.
Pressure of playing for pizzas getting to him.
Yeah, that happens. It is
Big
high
price.
stakes. It's very high stakes to have that
It's high,
going.
high pizza, not steak.
That is
Oh
true.
no,
Oh,
that was
snap.
no, no bad jokes. But anyway, as we were saying before, Yonsu, it's a map that's no longer in the pool, but for TVT, this is a very mech-suited map. Just the layout of the third and how easy it is to take and then defend mean that tank positioning can make it relatively impossible to break through against a mech army. So we need to see if either of these players takes advantage of that.
Yeah, so far at least, Saranghae's opening indicates that he's going to go immediate factory after barracks, since he took the gas first. Whereas I kind of expect to see just a Marine or something come out of this barracks, but I'm not sure. He's not building anything yet, and he may wait and get a Reaver, but...
I'm going to assume that your StarCraft hasn't crashed.
No, it hasn't. Has yours?
Yes.
Yours has?
Screen's just frozen completely.
I see. Well, that's not good.
Nope, I will have to
You
try
can
and cast off the stream.
That works. All right, he'll be about 45 seconds behind or so, but that's not too bad. I'll just try and describe what's happening. I think last week in the goal, me and Ascended actually casted one where the production was still showing the overlay, and so we casted an entire game without the audience being able to see it. So this is at least better.
That's a true test of the casting.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows? There is a Reaper though. Basically, things are going as I said they probably would. That we had Saranghae throwing up a factory right away, whereas we do have the Reaper coming out or not coming out. It's coming across the map for Uesuri.
Did Saranghae take a second gas, or is he still on one?
Yes, the second gas just now has completed.
Yep, I see it went down. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a cloaked Banshee opening for Saranghae.
Yeah,
More
that kind of seems right where he's going. Yeah, because the tech lab is going right on the factory. Starport coming down just now, and that should be it might actually be a decent move. We got Uesuri making a command center to follow this up, and his Reaper did die, so it didn't get much done there, and he won't be able to scout with that, unfortunately. But he's going for his own starport there as well.
Nice. Did he actually see the starport and the factory with the tech lab?
I did not. He was able to see the factory, but not the starport or the add-on on the factory. Right. So he doesn't know for sure what it's going to be, but he did have an idea that the second gas was being taken, and the cloak is starting now with the Banshee starting there as well. And there's not going to be any engineering bay or anything out yet for Uesuri, but he is getting 2 Widow Mines out, his second command center, and he is actually getting cloak for his own Banshee.
So he's doing a delayed cloak expand?
Yeah, so just so he's about 35 seconds behind on that, but he's getting his own. And of course, other than the scan, Saranghae is not going to have detection for that either.
Yep. Both players are going to be in the same boat here. They're both going to be relying on their Banshee to get as much damage done as possible.
Yeah. I think
Saranghae needs more damage done because he doesn't have a command center at this point, though, from where I'm looking out of the stream.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a little bit of a fight of widow mines there too. Uesuri is burrowed one in his own mineral line to maybe try and catch a banshee, which he figures is going to be coming in. And there's one
Yep.
burrowed at the natural of Uesuri as well. But that one is Saranghae. So the banshee is sweeping on in. Cloak is not finished just yet, but about 3-4 seconds away. Widow mine does go off, but the banshee does live. And he does have cloak now available. If that marine turned around and shot, though, he would get the job done. As there is only 15, and one does get taken down. He doesn't even turn the cloak on. Uesuri is actually sending his own across the map now, and it kind of passes Saranghae's in flight.
Ooh.
And we'll have to see again what approach Saranghae takes against the.
Yep, he's either going to need to transition to a tank all in, or just.
And this banshee gets initially attacked by a bunch of marines. Scan goes down, but it gets out of range as the marines aren't fully paying attention, and he doesn't have a second scan just yet. But Saranghae is actually pushing across with several marines, 2 tanks, and a bunch of SCVs.
And Uesuri is actually, from what I can see, getting a Raven.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it will help him for this 2 tank.
He does have a Viking out already as well. He's going to be able to stop this bunker from going down. SCVs attacking the marine at the front line. Viking versus Viking, but with marine support. Saranghaes are going to win that fight. And the Banshee, which has been kind of hiding off to the side, does come in now and is aiding in this attack. Uesuri is trying to make a bunker in his own base and gets his own siege tank up to fire.
Yep,
and try and ward this
off.
But the Cloak Banshee is just going to go off and take some shots at this siege tank. Scan and Marines trying to poke it out. The Raven is out there now, so it's going to have detection against that.
Yep. It does look like Saranghae should have this game just with the positioning of his 2 tanks on the high ground and the fact that he has a Banshee. And I don't
he's not going to be able to move him. Even the Viking will eventually be able to take out the Raven. There's not enough ground support to stop that.
So this should be it for game 1.
Although the Banshee that lived earlier is now sneaking in from behind. And then just totally gets picked off because he doesn't turn the cloak on. The second Banshee, though, for Uesuri is going to town on these siege tanks, and the SCVs are actually gone, so he can't repair these as he wants to, and he just gets a scan off now, and that does good.
I think the biggest difference in this game is the army supply at the moment.
It's funny. There's complete army supply advantage for Saranghae, but he also only has 5 workers.
5 workers.
So that's not good.
Losing a lot to this cloaked Banshee. Oh no, wait, he's just killed it.
It's not there. Yeah, he did bring it home, but it was just ripping everything apart. I almost wonder if bringing it home was an accident, because it didn't really make any sense. He just lost it. But either way, boom. A nice Widow Mine blast. There's Widow Mines here too, and at this point, Saranghae can't really afford to blue. Although now we've got Uesuri putting in his SCVs directly against the siege tanks. He does manage to take out the Marines, and the siege tanks are killing each other. It's a massacre here, one way or the other. We've got Uesuri down to only 4 SCVs. I don't think he had to do that full. I think he was actually kind of all right the way he was. But this is shaped up to be really weird overall. Saranghae is now resupplying on SCVs, dropping some mules down. It's now just 8 SCVs to 5 SCVs for our purple player, but everything's weird. 4 Marines and 1 Widow Mine are occupying the base, while Uesuri's Widow Mines are trying to keep these individual Marines out. 1 will go down there immediately. the whole thing's kind of like the most powerful units in this game are one Banshee and an auto turret. Right now. That's where we sit.
Those mines are all about.
If he loses this Raven, that could actually be quite big. Drops another auto turret to try and slow down the Marines in the mineral line.
I love low economy games.
Yeah, it's all very weird. This Banshee, though, I think right now by Saranghae is actually reigning supreme, as there's nothing really
to combat that.
Shoot up. Yeah, it's only got 26 hit points on it, but nothing can get at it right now. And there's only 4 SCVs left alive for Uesuri. He does have 400 minerals, so he's going to get his own Viking out and go after that Banshee and actually take him down.
Yep.
He's at least chasing it across the map. Doesn't go down quite yet. That Viking could actually be quite useful, to be honest, if landed at this point.
Definitely.
It's still pretty good. So yeah, just a weird position. Saranghae is finally getting his second command center, but Uesuri does have 2 orbital commands to both drop mules from and resupply on SCVs. So with that Raven in the air and the Viking in the air, it almost looks like he's stabilizing. He's gotten all the Widow mines out of his base. Banshee's going to come back in. It's going to have the ability to cloak, but with the Raven there, shouldn't totally matter. But 2 Banshees will come in. He does have his own Viking, but there are 3 Marines on the ground there as well. So let's see how this engages. 1 Banshee going down. Focus firing. I think the other Viking. And yeah, the Banshee will... It is currently cloaked. The Raven is now gone, but as soon as he has enough energy to scan, he'll be able to get rid of that as well. And there it goes. Nice. Another Widow Mine and a tank and just little things that he can think of. A Widow Mine just killed another Widow Mine.
Oh. How's that even possible?
It's magic. Oh. And not all of a sudden, I guess, because it took forever, but it looks like Uesuri is actually a little bit more in the driver's seat at this point. Both of them are at 2 orbitals, but neither of them has actually moved out to take the natural or anything. But Uesuri does have a slight SCV lead, and I think just the few units that he does have out are a little bit superior to his opponent that time, and he's got a missile turret coming down here as well.
Yep, that'll definitely help out against the Banshees and the Viking. I think, does Saranghae still have his Viking?
I don't think so now. No, that is gone from before. And he
it's just completely impossible to cast a game like this.
Yeah, it really is. I was thinking at the start, this was going to be mercifully short and we would get you back in the game. But it looks like this is going to be a little longer. It's probably the lowest economy, like 20-minute game ever.
I don't think either of the players actually got above 20 SCVs, did they? Or did Uesuri manage that at one point?
I don't know what both of them are climbing back for FCV count. We're at 15 now for Saranghae and 19 for Uesuri. I think early on in the game, Uesuri pulled all his to take out a few tanks and just lost so many. I think we have a strategic orbital command land to absorb tank fire on purpose. Raven and Viking wandering over some Marines, but looks like they're going to be fine for at least the time being. Yeah, I'll just weird. 2 tanks to 2 tanks. In terms of the unit count here, got a 3rd tank making its way across for Saranghae. It's going to siege. It looks like he's thinking about it. I thought he was going to siege on the low ground a little bit, but he's just not doing anything yet. And we get the move up by Uesuri trying to go after this. I think that was a little bit of a misstep. Lost several Marines in trying to assault one of the siege tanks, and is now going to potentially lose his own siege tank here to a Banshee, which doesn't quite get cleared out. 4 hit points left on that. Just kind of back and forth, shuffling with all these units.
Yep.
It's all strange. And I'm still not sure who's going to pull in. I almost think it's whoever makes the biggest mistake first. But Saranghae does have a base actually established in his natural back home, whereas Uesuri does lose his lose his Raven right over the tanks, and that's such a huge unit to actually lose. Got 2 Banshees still alive for Saranghae. One of them with only 4 hit points. A gentle breeze will kill that. But but he's trying to pick off just the tech lab, like being really careful with it, and going after the things on the fringe. Does lose one of the Banshees, but picks up the tech lab on the factory for that, and is now going after a missile turret in the mineral line, which frankly I think he should be getting rid of. He should be canceling anyway because his main is about to mine out. So Uesuri is actually at this point where he really has to move because he needs to take the natural. Yeah. And he will actually be able to secure his natural as he floats the command center on down. Saranghae commenting that they're playing a game of chess, which is often what TVT looks like.
Indeed it is.
Yeah. Worker supplies, like 22 to 22, just completely even.
It's totally even now.
And I'm not sure I'm not sure who's winning. I think Saranghae has more stuff. He's actually got some medevacs out too as well. So if he can siege into a few, or like drop siege into a few positions, that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, but I think the tank advantage is going to be
really,
really good as well for Saranghae. From what I see just now, he has 5 tanks. He might have a 6th by the time he gets round to you.
That's how 6, yes. It's compared to only 2 for his opponent. And there's only 1 Banshee for Uesuri at this point as well. If he had, I think, 2 or 3 Banshees, he could overwhelm the tank numbers, but not the case right now. And the Banshee actually gets picked off mid-map anyway. So I think Saranghae is actually looking to make a pretty solid push here. And I'm not sure if he's considering an elevator up into the main base.
Well, he should have stim finished by the time he gets over, so in theory he should be able to just push through those 2 tanks at the front.
Yeah, and he is both sieging up on the high ground and the low ground here, and just shelling down on the production facilities. Uesuri has
a drop coming in from Uesuri. Has that happened yet?
Yeah, it's there, but he hasn't used it yet.
Right.
He's dropped them, and he's just now bringing them into the mineral line of Saranghae. And Saranghae is actually losing. He's trying to go after the orbital command, but I think he's distracted now, and he's losing all his Marines to siege tanks for Uesuri. And his own Marines are still alive and well in the base of Saranghae. And we'll be clearing everything here out, at least for the time being. Landed Vikings will actually clean up everything on the ground, but a fair bit of damage was done. Saranghae still controls the upper side of Uesuri's base, but mining is uninterrupted for Uesuri right now. He's picking up his own little group of Marines and trying to drop directly on tanks in order for tanks to fire on each other. Actually does manage to take out 2 of them out there. So fairly decent maneuver there to try and climb back into it. There's 2 siege tanks in his... Actually, all the siege tanks for Saranghae right now are unsieged and kind of isolated. If he realizes that, he does pick them up now. There's a good window there that if he had realized, could have probably taken them out. This is all weird. Saranghae's taking everything back home to defend his natural. In terms of the worker counts at this point, still very, very even, 25 to 24. Uesuri does have actually a lot more of a bank, and he is working on his third command center right now to actually try and expand. So he could end up with a fair bit of an economic advantage if this is allowed to go on. But Saranghae is swinging back around to try something else aggressive.
Well, Uesuri, is he building 2 command centers at the same time? Because I believe he lost the orbital in his main.
Yeah, he did lose the first one at his main base. But yeah, he is building 2. So he's building 1 in his natural and 1 at his 3rd or 4th, depending what you consider that one.
Yep.
But as the tank army for Saranghae moves in here now, he may have to abandon that last position. If it even gets finished, he may just have to cancel. He does cancel it right away. And Uesuri looking for a good way to siege up. Attempted drop by Saranghae. Sure what? I'm not sure what he's doing here. You can comment in a few seconds. He's trying to drop into the natural, but I think it's hard to do with Uesuri controlling the position a little too well right now.
Yeah, too many tanks on the high ground for Uesuri at the moment for Saranghae to do a drop like that.
It's kind of using obviously the vision from the Vikings here to just shell down onto the high ground, at least take out the gases that are there.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to get... I don't know if this is an attempt at a flank by Uesuri or whether he thinks he's just going to go across the map and attack. This is all
when in doubt, base trade.
Yeah, when in doubt, base trade indeed. He will pick off basically all the Marines here for Saranghae, but loses a couple tanks in the process. It's too bad that they weren't actually sieged up or anything. Yeah, it looks like he is just kind of opting for some sort of base trade, and he's pulled his SUVs to the other side of the map. I don't think he actually had to do this. He's going to get shelled down from the high ground, and there's nothing, unfortunately, kind of the spot for that right now. We'll take out 1 tank with a bunch of SUVs, but I think we'll lose the other 2 as the SUVs close in. And Vikings land on the last tank position, so we've got Uesuri down to only 15 supply, 12 supply now, and doesn't really have much of a leg to stand on anymore. Absolute GG.
ASL presents GosuPizza.
We're here on merry-go-round, which is Uesuri, whose name is apparently Wesley. Somehow this says Wesley. I see like the west part. I don't know how you get Lee out of the last part, but apparently we do. And that's him up on the top left-hand corner of things. And down in the middle of the map is Mr. Saranghae in all his awesomeness. He took that first game very weirdly. But it looks like he's going for a very similar opening here, going for the refinery first. So I do think that he'll probably go for another factory as he sends his SCV out to scout around. And Uesuri, on the other hand, is going for the barracks before the refinery, and probably will make a similar opening for himself as well. Got Saranghae scouting the wrong way here just to start things off, but of course there's only 3 spots on this map, so in short order he's going to find out what is going on. Probably get there in time to see that a Reaper is in fact what's going to be coming out of that barracks as it finishes, and Saranghae is definitely going up to the 100 gas, which you should have in time for everything to make a factory. And there is the Reaper being made by Uesuri.
Yep.
Actually, only 2 SUVs mining off the gas there.
I'm wondering if Saranghae is planning to do the same Cloaked Banshee opening.
Something tells me he will. At least the opening is the same, but he hasn't. Oddly enough, there he goes. He could have made the factory, I think, a little bit earlier than that, but does put it down now. So we'll see if he does follow up. I guess the biggest tell will be when he takes a second gas to continue with that. And Uesuri sneaks in an SCV, which evades the first Marine, and is taking a look around the area to see probably when that second gas is in fact taken. And Uesuri sees what he sees and decides to go directly for a command center here right after the first barracks with the reactor being added onto it.
Yep. If he expects to... In fact, I can't see the production tab, so I can't tell.
Fair enough.
If Saranghae doesn't have a second gas started by the time his factory's halfway done, it's unlikely to be a Cloaked Banshee opening.
Yeah. He does have, I mean, the factory is done, and the refinery is has just finished there. He's making the starport, and it is a tech lab going on the factory, but I kind of agree. I think the timing was a little bit off on getting this synced up. But, I think it'll be at least in the ballpark.
Yeah, I think at the halfway point of your factory being done, if you start your refinery then, by the time your starport is finished and put on the tech lab, you have enough for a Banshee, Cloak, and a Widowmine, which is generally what you want to be building out of your structures at those point with your gas. Yeah, very true there. This time around, the Uesuri, I think, is aware of what's going on. He's making a engineering bay there as well back at home. He's got 2 barracks out and just the 1 factory, so he's not going up for his own cloak this time around. The Reaper has gotten 1 kill on SCVs there, and is kind of poking around the back of his mineral line. Not really proactive Marine control necessarily out of Saranghae, but I think he may have the Reaper. At least for a second, it looked like he was surrounded, but he's actually going to get away again to wreak more havoc with 2 kills already. A Widowmine is just kind of wandering his way across the map, and will miss 2 Marines as he comes into the natural base of his opponent. And the stream seems to be stuck. It's looking at a point to the south of Wesley's base.
Let's see here. Yes. Oh, that is true.
I can't tell whose vision that's on, but
I think it's definitely on. Yeah, it's definitely recording off of Saber's vision, but he was supposed to be following my camera view. Right. I guess he's not.
What I'll do then is I'll cast this bit of the map that I can see. So
you let me know what's going on there.
There's a command center flying.
Oh.
There's Marines running up and down the ramp. People will have
to trust me on the rest. We do have the Banshee being made here out of Saranghae's stuff. He does have a second one already out on the map, which is picking off Marines and entering the mineral line. But there is a turret already in place, but he's just going to pick off the Marines on the outside. This Banshee already has 5 kills, and the second one actually making his way across the map to join the first Banshee. There's a lot of Marines out for Uesuri at this moment, but he's losing a fair number of them to the Banshee fire before clearing it out. The second Banshee may actually wander directly into the scan that was just laid down, and I think the camera is actually now following me again.
Yes,
which is good. He's going right after this. I think he shouldn't maybe even divert fire. He was going, will be taken out there now. He was going after the TAC lab, and if he was actually able to cancel stim, that definitely would have been a huge deal.
That's just absolutely massive. Saranghae hasn't even started stim, has he?
No, he doesn't even have a barracks with a tech lab on it. He'd have to build one or switch out. Yeah, and he's moving across the map with Marines, 2 tanks, which actually gets completely spotted by a Reaper that goes down in front of Uesuri's base. He's got a Widowmine, a tank, a decent number of Marines, approximately an equivalent number out there. And yeah, I'm just not sure if he's going to be able to get up. He does have the vision advantage, though, with these 2 Vikings, so that may help out.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a matter of how they control the Marines on the low ground.
Yep, I think I would definitely give the advantage to. We'll go with Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley.
If that's what we're going to call him.
Yeah.
Because that tank on the high ground and the Marines he have.
Yeah, repair is going off now on that one
that.
remaining tank. He does get a second one out, which he could plant firmly on the high ground and just shell down on the tanks below. And I think that is what he's going to do as soon as that scan expires. He's going to try and creep a little bit forward with this tank is Wesley, and the first shots will be able to go down on the low ground. Vikings will move into position to try and counterfire, and are able to actually take that out. That's his big advantage right now, is what's in the air for Saranghae. In terms of the economy, production, and so on. Those things are definitely in Wesley's favor at this moment.
Yep, the longer this game goes, the further Wesley gets ahead, basically.
Yeah. He's got to keep this tank alive, though. And a nice scan going off. Doesn't quite get the Banshee yet, though. As he gets too close, the tanks on the low ground are certainly a problem. And this Banshee, I think, will be able to clear out the tank. And it does drop now, allowing Saranghae to take the, not the high ground, but the natural ground, at least. And then move up into the main of Uesuri. Wesley. Yeah, I think Wesley's defense has kind of broken here now. He's got a lot more in terms of the SCVs and stuff, but yeah, he is just going to lose at the front. Yeah. All right. So he does go down there.